Today is Mother's Day 2022. And today I have a special message just for you. My name is McNulty, and this is Grief Inspired, and I bring light to the darkness of grief. And I don't think that there is a day more deserving of light than on Mother's Day for all of you who may be grieving the loss of a child, maybe grieving the loss of your parents, grieving the loss of your grandparents. Mother's Day is a special day to honor the women that are in our lives, to honor maybe ourselves if we are the ones who are deep in loss because we've lost our children. And it's a special day. And I think it deserves a moment. It deserves a moment. It deserves a prayer. And if you are struggling this Mother's Day, I want to give you a little bit of hope. Now, here at Grief Inspired, there's so much that I want to do, that I want to be able to give all of you. But I think the overwhelming message that I always want to deliver is that there is hope. There is hope that you can be happy again. There is hope that you can heal. There is hope that you can find a new way to relate to the person or persons that you've lost. And that's what bringing light to the darkness of grief is all about, is not holding it in, about giving us all a place where we can communicate together, a space where we can spend some time and give ourselves permission to grieve, permission to not be fine if you're not fine today, but with the promise that you will be fine another day, that this won't last forever, that the pain that you're experiencing is a process. It's part of the human condition. It's the price we pay for love, is what Earl Roman calls it. And so here at Grief Inspired, I want to help move you forward. I want to keep you from getting stuck. And if you are somebody who doesn't want to be stuck, who wants to move forward, who wants to learn about your grief, who wants to find hope, who wants to find meaning for why did this happen? Why did this happen to you? And if you want to just be less lonely in the process, then Grief Inspired is a place for you. You know, I have my up and coming, maybe it is up and coming, because they're getting more popular. But I have an upcoming grief course. I'm delaying it by a couple of weeks because I've got some exciting things happening that I will share in future videos. But I want to invite you to consider the fact that on this Mother's Day, you deserve support, you deserve healing, you deserve education, you deserve understanding of what is happening in your world right now. So often, mothers give all of themselves, right? For me, the definition of being a mother is being willing to give everything that you are, everything that you've become, everything that you will be to your children, right? I want to be a better person so that my son can have a better life. I want to learn how to conquer the things that stop me because I want him to have a better opportunity. I want him to have the tools and the knowledge and not stay stuck in pain and anger and frustration and be fearful because of this world that we're in these days. So now more than ever, if you are a mother who has given your all, I want you to consider that you deserve some support. And if you've lost your mother, if you've lost the person who was your rock, the person that you went to when you weren't sure, when you needed advice, when you needed a pick-me-up, if you've lost that person, then I want to encourage you to also know that you are worthy of getting support. It's time to focus on you so that you can be better for whoever else is in your sphere of influence. Maybe it's your family, maybe it's your children, maybe it's your spouse, maybe it's your dad, maybe it's someone else. But I want to give you permission to heal and to become happy again and to work your way through the process. And sometimes what I find most enjoyable about working with people in their grief is they start to become more of who they were meant to be, of who they were. Sometimes we call it like our inner child, right? Because the world gets in the way and we become different and we morph ourselves to try to fit in, to do the things that we should do, become the people that we feel like we should do. And we find ourselves in careers that don't match us. We find us living in locations where we shouldn't be. We find ourselves in toxic relationships. Guilty. We find ourselves doing things that don't serve us. Things that steal our joy, rob us of energy, and leave us feeling depleted. And I know that on this Mother's Day, your loved one would not want that for you. When you really think about it, I can't think of anyone who has ever told me, yep, the person that I am grieving, they absolutely want me to be miserable. They want me to be unhappy. They want me to suffer as much as physically possible. That's not the case. Whether or not you believe you can talk to them, but if you just look to the heavens and say, you know, what would he or she say to me if they could see me, or if they do see me grieving, suffering the way I am, in pain the way I am? What would they say? I want you to think on that today and drop that into the comments. I've had some people say, well, they tell me I'm being silly, that I deserve to be happy, that they want me to be happy, that they love me so much, that they want you to move on in a way that's moving forward, not forgetting them, but moving forward in grief. So in the course that is the GriefInspired 8-week course that we are doing again, and I say we because the course is really, it's a group activity. I lead the course, I facilitate the course, I provide a lot of tools and education, but the course is so beautiful because it's a small group of people who get to know each other. And the course unfolds as it should, based on what's coming up for people. We talk about guilt and anger and how to release guilt and how to let some of the anger go and how to take care of ourselves, right? We spend more than a week talking about, well, what is self-care? What is self-care for you? And then how can you take that? And I'm not talking about the self-care that they tell you on the You know, when you Google something, like this is self-care. This is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to take vitamins, and you're supposed to do this, and you're supposed to do this, and you're supposed to do this. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is self-care for you. What is the type of self-care that's going to help you as you go through the grief process? What's the self-care that's going to work for the life that you have and the things that you are doing? Because if you are a mother, right, you're likely busy. You're likely doing a lot of things in addition to your grief. So the course is an hour and a half each week to slow down for 8 weeks and just focus on you and focus on your healing so that you can be a better version of you, so that you can feel a little lighter in your grief, so that you can be reminded that you're not alone, so that you can get unstuck if you happen to be stuck, and so that you can walk with other people through your grief process. Because as much as we feel like, and as much as the world tells us that we should grieve alone and that we should grieve quietly in silence, that is not the way grief should happen. And it's a tragedy that that's how grief happens this day and age, and that's what I'm trying to change. So I want to give you permission to support yourself. I want to give you permission to drop me an email at GriefInspired@gmail.com, to leave a comment here and say, hey, I want to learn a little bit more about this grief course. I want to talk to you. And what I do is I talk to each person before I invite you to join the grief course to make sure that you're in the right spot, that it's going to be good for you, that you're going to be able to move forward, that you're going to be able to be unstuck, that you're going to really get the most out of the course, because that's what I want. And so it's a wonderful, wonderful group of people that come together. And that's what I said, is it's a magical connection that lasts with members of the course after the course has ended, because we all become so close, because it's such a safe place, free of judgment. You can speak freely. You can share the things that are on your mind without judgment. And you'll be surprised when you bring something up and then somebody else says, oh my gosh, I feel exactly the same way. I didn't know that other people felt that way, and I haven't been saying anything because I thought there was something wrong with me. I thought there was something weird about my own experience. So this is Mother's Day. And so I want to invite you to take time for you. I call it massive self-care because I think as women, we need massive self-care. And if you're a man in this day and age, you probably need massive self-care too, and it's perfectly fine. But a lot of times what I see is that women typically give themselves less leeway to help themselves because we tend to be so focused on helping everyone around us. And so this is an opportunity to do something for you, to do something this Mother's Day for yourself. And if you mention this video and that you saw this video to the end, I'm going to give you a special gift for you. So drop it in the comments. Tell me that you would like the special gift, that you want to learn more about the course. And let's get you on the path to true healing so that you can let the darkness and the weight and the heaviness of grief, you can let some of that go, and you can feel lighter, and you can feel more peace and ease in your life. You can have more understanding in your life, and you can be reminded that you are going to be okay. I can't wait to hear from you. I can't wait to talk to all of you. My favorite part of every week is when I have the 1 or 2 calls, 3 calls of people just hearing your story and seeing how I might be able to help. So keep those emails coming. Let me know how I can be of further assistance to you. And in the next few videos, we're going to do some Q&A, and I'm going to answer some specific people's questions that have come up in the comments. So if you have questions, drop your comments and questions down below, and I might just make a video for you. Bye for now.